Welcome back, guys. Back for another episode of Discography. Today we are talking about the Scottish power pop band Teenage Fanclub. They've got 11 studio records to talk about, so let's just get right into it. At number 11, I have The King. This record was recorded with leftover studio time at the end of their contract. The King is a mostly forgotten piece of the Teenage Fanclub discography. It's a largely improvised blast of heavy distorted guitars. Although most of the songs have some sort of structure, this is a mostly songless album in that their cover of Madonna's Like a Virgin is the only track with a melody and audible vocals. I would reserve this album only for the most hardcore of Teenage Fanclub fans. At number 10, I have Words of Wisdom and Hope, featuring Jad Fair. Taking Teenage Fanclub and replacing their vocals with someone who's a weaker singer doesn't make a lot of sense, and that is the problem with this Jad Fair collaboration. This is an album that would probably appeal to Jad Fair fans more than it would to Teenage Fanclub fans. At number 9, I have their debut album, A Catholic Education. This is a scrappier, sloppier, heavier version of the sound that they would become famous for. Though it's not a polished record, it's hard not to find the hooks, as their gift for melody is apparent even under the layers of fuzz. At number 8, I have the album Shadows. There are some absolutely fantastic tracks on Shadows, like the opener, Sometimes I Don't Need to Believe in Anything, Baby Lee, Dark Clouds, and When I Still Have Thee. But on some of the album's deeper cuts, the band seems to have mellowed to the point of being nearly comatose. Songs like The Fall, The Past, and Today Never Ends are decent enough songs, but are performed with little enthusiasm or vibrancy. At number 7, I have the album Grand Prix. Grand Prix has a lot of amazing songs on it. From a purely songwriting standpoint, it probably ranks among their top 3 albums or so. However, being the first Teenage Fanclub to eschew the heavier elements of their sound and fully lean into the pop side of their music, the album ends up sounding a little bit one-dimensional. There's a sameness to the songs that by the end of the record comes across more as blandness. Future albums would make better use of the recording studio to keep their songs and their records more interesting. Still, songs like Neil Young, I'll Make It Clear, About You, and Sparky's Dream are absolutely fantastic, essential Teenage Fanclub tracks. At number 6, I have the album Howdy. The songwriting on Howdy is a little bit hit or miss, but the hits are absolute bangers. I Need Direction, Can't Find My Way Home, and The Sun Shines From You are 3 of the best songs Teenage Fanclub ever made. Subtle use of keys and organs and the occasional violin, better use of harmonies also give the album a little more sonic depth, and for me, that makes it a somewhat better, easier listen than Grand Prix. At number 5, I have the album Here. This is the most recent album. It's hard to find a lot to say about some of these albums because they don't vary the formula much from album to album. They just write great, simple pop songs and deliver them simply without much flash. This album is no exception, but there does seem to be a little bit more energy here than on their past few records. The guitars have a bit more dirt on them. There are some pretty great solos and lead lines, making this their noisiest record since 13. After the limp and uninspired Shadows, Here sounds positively electric. The Darkest Part of the Night is one of their great songs. At number 4, I have Songs from Northern Britain. This record has one of the best batch of songs that they ever wrote and some of the best sounding production as well. I would probably call it their most beautiful record, and it's a great place for newcomers to start. I feel like a lot of people start with Bandwagon Desk, which I guess makes sense because it's so great, but more of their catalogs sounds like Songs from Northern Britain than that record. So even though there are 3 records that I personally like more than this one, this is what I consider to be their quintessential album. At number 3, I have the album 13. 13 is a brilliant album and a perfect balance of their guitar-heavy early sound and the more direct pop that would follow. To me, it sounds like a logical progression from Bandwagon-esque, but for whatever reason in 1993, critics were not having it. But Hang On is brilliant, The Cabbage, Norman 3, Escher, Fear of Flying, and Tears Are Cool are all great tracks. And yeah, this is a great overlooked follow-up to their breakthrough. At number 2, I have the album Man Made. Man Made was recorded in Chicago at Tortoise's John McIntyre's Soma Studios, with McIntyre himself manning the boards. This makes Man Made easily the most unique sounding Teenage Fanclub album. The songwriting itself is typical of the band, but the production pulls some interesting emotional content from the songs as it touches on some moodier areas that the band have never really explored elsewhere in their discography. This was also one of the first Teenage Fanclub albums that I really got into. I knew some of their music and had listened to them before, but I think this might have been the first one that I actually bought, which could have a little to do with my fondness for this record. It's All in My Mind, Time Stops, Save, Cells, Fallen Leaves, and Born Under a Good Sign are some of my favorite tracks from this record. And at number 1, my favorite Teenage Fanclub record, I've got to go with Bandwagon-esque. This is the record that Spin called the best album of 1991, famously putting it ahead of Nirvana's Nevermind. They may have missed the mark a bit in terms of what affected the culture, but they weren't wrong from a musical standpoint. I would take this record any day over any Nirvana record. By the time they finish the opening lyrics of The Concept, you've already got everything you could want from a record from the early 90s. Fuzzy guitar, a great melody, and a song about a girl wearing denim and shopping for records. The rest of the record follows through on everything that promises. December, What You Do to Me, I Don't Know, Star Sign, Guiding Light, Alcoholiday, and Metal Baby are all classics. Basically every song on the record is great. If you don't know that record or this band, I would definitely check that out. And if you like the video, please hit like, subscribe if you aren't subscribed to the channel yet, and be sure to hit the bell so that you get notifications. And be sure to comment below, tell me what you think of the list, what your list would be, and maybe what videos you'd like to see me do in the future. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.